What's up, everybody? Give me one sec. Look at that beautiful sunset over there. Going down in the trees. Isn't that amazing? What's up, Bob? Mark? Man, you guys, I'm gonna make a cast for a second, but I want you guys to just everybody get a chance to come in, and you're gonna lose it in a second. You see it right, see the sun going down through the trees right there. We don't really get a full sunset in here where I live on the river because of the angle of the angle. I don't know, the shoreline. You can see it going right down. So we don't usually get a full-on sunset like you would out on the lake. But we do have some beautiful skies here in the morning, and when you look downriver, we do get a lot of beautiful sunrises that come right up the river from the other direction. I'll turn you back around now. What's up? This wind's finally laying down. If it wouldn't have, I wouldn't be out here this evening. It was howling right down this river all day today. I'm throwing that skirted grub up on the top here. You know, where I am, it goes, it's deep, it's dredged, and then it goes up on that rock, it used to be an island right there. And the story has it that what I've been told by both my former neighbors, that they remember when DOT came and dredged it and took the top off the island. But the slope is still there underwater, and it goes up to about 3 feet. So I'm just throwing along this edge because one of these days those walleyes will come up on here first before the smallmouth will. There's current here, and it's a big rock bar. So they will come in here first. And so I'm looking to see if there's any here. I can't imagine the water temperature is much more than about 34, 35, but this sun has a lot of spring heat in it, a lot. I shoveled the sidewalk and stuff this morning, and within an hour, it was completely melted and dry. So it could easily have spiked that temperature, especially right up on top of those rocks. Could have easily spiked a degree or two. And if that's the case, and any of these walleyes sitting off those edges still waiting for that urge, that temperature to tell them it's time to spawn, they might be sitting out there, then all of a sudden that water warms up today and they slide right up on top of there. So one of these days I'm going to come out here and catch 3-4 of them, because I haven't had so much as a tick off my dock, which isn't unusual for this time of year for me here. But these fish do come up and spawn here. The smallmouth will be spawned all over these docks and that rock pile, you know, in a couple months. And the walleyes do too, but they're a little quicker and they're a little more subtle. But it is beautiful to be out here this evening. Let's see who we got here tonight. Rumble Seat Mark Webb, John Doe, Nat Lussey. Show us the fish. Yeah, right on, man. I'm ready. Tonight's the night. Fish on, David Gould. Yeah, I was just talking, and it's just you know, I don't know how many fish are right here yet. You know, I mean, I've thrown. Boy, that had me thinking for a second. It was all the way at the bottom. This is just a little 1/8 ounce jig head with a skirt and a 4-inch curly tail grub on it. and I am just reeling it as slowly as I possibly can, letting that tail just auger like this. You know, it kind of looks like a leech instead of like this, but on its side, I guess. Just feels nice to have the rod in my hand. Tomorrow we're gonna go live tomorrow earlier in the day at some point from the Salmon River, wherever I can get service. My buddy Captain Todd Shelter and I are gonna be on the river together tomorrow because we have a trip Saturday. So we're gonna go fish Salmon River tomorrow. We're gonna get in the drift boat and we are gonna plug fish. And we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna shoot some video, and I know we're gonna catch some fish. So be ready for some fun Salmon River content tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm excited to get back out on the water and with the intent on fishing. Like I'm standing here in my street clothes right now, you know, with no boots and no gloves on, fishing for a few minutes because I'm fortunate. I can just stand here and come out the back and cast, but I'm not, like tomorrow I'm going fishing, and it's the first time I've been fishing since I've been ice fishing, and that's been a month at least. So I'm excited. I'm ready to get back rolling here. I've needed these last 2 months for a lot of reasons, and we're having a ton of fun shooting the breeze at night, and I enjoy it tremendously. This kid needs to get back on the water. Big time. Big time. Let's see who else we got here. Don Terry, what's going on? David Moss, John Burrows. Golf today, John Burrows. Keith Brothers, what's up? Keith is still down in Florida. He said it's sunny and 75 degrees. Keep it up. Keep up that kind of talk. Carl Capper, good evening. Sergeant Major, happy hump day. That's right, today's Wednesday. George Parson, the sunset on Oneida has been amazing every time I was there in May and October. Yeah, it's funny, I'm a sunrise guy, and so I see him every day, and whenever I look through some of my pictures in my own gallery, there's so many amazing ones. Every time I look at one and think, oh my God, look at that thing, you know, and the next one is just, it blows that away. And you know, every day, and anybody that fished with me this year knows, like, I stop. I'm not just head down, cast, you know, as fast as I can, just to, you know, nonstop. I'm all about the experience altogether. I'll fish as hard as anybody will, but I stop, you know, I stop and look at the sunrise. And I take some pictures of it because you sit there for a second and you're like, man, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. You know, sunsets, sunrise, just being out here, you know, feeling it. I'm ready to be back out. You know, we did pretty good last year. I bet you we were pretty close to a 200-day stint in a row. You know, time to get that streak back going again for this year. A lot of stuff too. A lot of stuff that we want to fish. Oh, I have a Walleye Fest announcement. I was contacted by a gentleman today, and before I say his name, I'm going to suggest something on air. A local guide from up in the Salmon River wanted to donate a drift boat trip. He had suggested the first person out of the money, that would mean 26th place would win a free drift boat trip, which is an amazing prize. It's a $500 prize. And of course I said, oh my God, yes. But then I thought, you know, we have a kids division too. Maybe we would use that as a kid's first prize. I mean, what kid wouldn't want to go on a drift boat and go steelhead fishing or salmon fishing? That stuff's, my first drift boat trip was in 1992. The Army transferred my whole unit, so my roommate and I drove from Fort Ord, California up to Fort Lewis, Washington, and we stopped on the way because I'd seen an article in Field and Stream, the current thing, and it was about that area. It was Southern Oregon that I went fishing with, in and so I called the guy out of the magazine. There was no internet, you know, then. And I told him what the deal was and that we were being transferred and on our way up north. And he said, absolutely stop. I'll take you out for the day. And I went out and caught, what river was I on? It's in Southern Oregon. My roommate Chris went snowboarding that day. He dropped me off at the boat ramp that morning. And the guy told him when we were going to be done. And he went snowboarding somewhere. And I went steelhead fishing with this guy. Man, it was incredible. Caught a bunch of fish that day plugging. I rode a drift boat now for 25 years, and it's the only man I ever saw row a drift boat, both oars with one hand at the same time, like this, while he was plug fishing. And it was so incredible that when I turned around and saw it, I knew even then, and I'd never rowed a drift boat then or ever been in one before, I immediately realized that had to be almost impossible to do because he had hands like a basketball player, must have been, I don't know. Just to get your hand on the butt of both oars and to be able to control them and pull on them. Pretty amazing. I look forward to showing you guys around the Salmon River a little tomorrow. Tim Graver, what's up, buddy? Ed Roser says, I stink at math, but my count is 46 days until opening a walleye season. Yep. Hasn't even closed yet. Tomorrow's the 15th, right? Wait, today's the 15th. Yeah, Don. Whatever. You guys all are good fishermen, and just be careful out there on the ice if you're going out. That big heavy snow's got to be sinking it somewhat. What's up, Wiz? Keith Horn says, been catching largemouth at my son-in-law's lakes in his development. Only problem is the gators in every lake and having to look over your shoulder. Ah! Oh, man. That's no joke, though, I don't think. Whopper, ploppers, topwater. Oh, so spring topwater bite down there. So those fish are probably on beds already down in Florida, I would think. They might even be post-spawn. Mimi said, where did you come up with the awakening angler? It's a really great question and one that's not easily answered. I think the short story is I've been on a lot of sides of the fishing industry in my life, and I keep coming back to it because it's what I love to do, you know. But I think for the longest time I was coming at it from the wrong angle, and the fact is that I kind of awoke inside, you know, knowledge-wise, spiritually, whatever you want to say. I just kind of opened my eyes one day and was like, you know, I just think there's more and bigger things that I should be focusing on than the more trivial everyday stuff. I kind of woke up to the possibility of, you know, I want to know what there more is to life, not how we can fill our lives with more drama. I'm the most anti-drama person you'll ever meet in your whole life, even if we haven't met in person. So I just woke up to the fact that I don't want to be wrapped up in those trivial dramas anymore, and I awoke to the possibility that there's more to life. There's more to just even my fishing career and my fishing time, you know, my time on the water. I awoke to the fact that there's more than just the fish catching, but when you do it on your own terms, you can do whatever you want with it, you know? And I awoke to that possibility that I can just take people fishing with me, and I know enough that I can talk about it in a way that people learn from it, which is how I want it to be received. I like teaching, and fishing is my subject. And the beauty of that is that it's a constant learning process, because most of what I would teach you would be you watching through how I'm learning. You know, I don't ever begin to say that there's only one way or it's just my way, because that's 1,000% not true. But the way I'm doing it works, and for me, in certain situations, and I'm always learning more, and I'd like to learn together, not have to be. I don't get hung up on the hierarchy stuff of it, you know. I like talking fishing. I like to learn, so I assume other people would like to learn. And some people might say, you know, no one's ever really put it that way. No one's ever really, you know, most of the times especially when a guy has, when something starts working for a guy like that, especially a fisherman, yeah. It just means that I'm open to more possibilities. Aaron Lucia, what's up? Huh. Bob said, did I mention that Friday will be my 9th birthday? Bob, if that, maybe is that in dog years? 9 times 7, 63? All right, maybe. Father, son, daughter drift trip. Perfect. No Joe Gators. All right, everybody, I'm going to go in. My beautiful wife made corned beef dinner tonight. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see everybody tomorrow from the Salmon River. Have a great evening. Keep your tip up.